2.7 FM.
Hey, it's Nooga Radio Outdoors. You're listening to AM 1240 and 92.7 FM, Nooga Radio. This is Cindy, and it is my absolute honor to be your host and outdoor activity events and adventure guide for our community. I have a wonderful guest here with me today, but first I want to remind you that I want to have your nonprofit on. If you're having an outdoor event, if you're having your annual golf tournament or your annual 5K, 10K, whatever type event you might be having outdoors, I want to have you on and help promote your event. And you just need to email me at nrocindy@gmail.com. That's NRO, like Nooga Radio Outdoors, Cindy@gmail.com. I'm glad to promote your event and encourage participants and spectators for your event. And a quick shout out, Cindy's choice for a great catering selection is Chicken Salad Chick. Chicken Salad Chick, Chattanooga.com. 000. Folks, we're talking 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 0 gluten. If we're going to talk about getting healthy, getting active, getting outside, we need some really good, not health food, but really good food that's healthy for you. And that's Chicken Salad Chick. Again, Chicken Salad Chick, Chattanooga.com. There's a downtown location that has curb service, and then there's the East Brainerd location as well. And again, we have a wonderful guest here for you today. This is so much fun. I'm getting to meet so many new cool people that love the outdoors, or outdoors enthusiasts, and is passionate about helping and connecting people, as I am. And I have Sean Malone with me today. He's owner-operator of Scenic City Safari Adventure Shuttles and Outfitters. Did I get that right, Sean?
Yes, ma'am. You covered it all.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
I always like to start out, Sean, with finding out who I'm talking to. So where are you from? Are you from the Chattanooga area? What's your story?
Well, I've lived all over the Chattanooga area, anywhere from Saudi Daisy to Signal Mountain. And I grew up here and watched the city change, and love where the direction that it's headed to and where it's come so far. That's why we're trying to be a part of it in a positive manner in the outdoor community.
Oh, I love hearing that. Wow, a Chattanoogan. When I first moved here in the 80s, I felt, like odd man out being a transplant from Texas. But this area is such a hub for outdoor activities and has gotten so popular so that there's so many people now. We're becoming quite the metroplex that are traveling here from across the country and a lot. We have a great job market, quite honestly, compared to the most country. This is a very innovative city and a lot's happening there, but it's the outdoor lifestyle that is the attraction here.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And then the sunsets yesterday, how can you beat that?
It's incredible. 2 nights in a row. And I missed it. I saw it on Facebook. And I'm on Missionary Ridge. So it's like when I'm like, how did I miss that? And so I was determined. I made sure I caught it the next evening, and it was just as beautiful. And it's another great scene from the Scenic City. So tell me, your primary service with Scenic City Safari is the shuttle and the canoe and kayaking. So tell me your history with canoe kayaking.
Okay, so I got started canoeing and kayaking. Well, canoeing back in Boy Scouts, like most young men, and then that evolved into kayaking later on. Whenever I was a little bit older, just saw all the different whitewater on the commercials, and really wanted to check it out because I enjoyed the adrenaline of it all. And coming from a skateboarding background, I really thought the kayaking was going to be a lot of fun, and it really was. And then I paddled whitewater kayaking for about 14 years, and then we switched up to open canoes or whitewater canoes, and it's just exploded from there. I've had a lot more fun in the canoe. I've loved it all, but the canoe definitely gives me a little bit more challenge. and helps me to keep the risk factor down to a degree.
Yeah, I hear you there. I love that you mentioned skateboarding. That's something I'd forgotten all about. I was an '80s teenager, and our high school, we actually had a skateboarding club. That's right, when the whole skateboard. I was secretary of the skateboarding club, and that's when all that took off. But both of my children, we were heavily active in that world. Is that still popular? Is skateboarding
Oh,
still?
absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, okay. You're gonna have to connect me with some skateboarding folks, because that'll be a great thing to have on the show. A great topic for the show as well. So tell me, on you mentioned about safety. That is, we're talking about outdoor adventures. We're talking about my main motivation is to get people outside, so you don't have to necessarily go on an adventure to get outside. If you're not outside at all, I encourage them just to go spectate and just be outside and go to festivals and things like that. But if you are looking for some activity, there's plenty of safe kayaking and canoeing to do. But then it's also, it can become an extreme sport as well. So tell me, in your service, what realm do you cover? Are you able to take the novice out on, and then also provide some an adventure for the more advanced canoe kayaker?
Sure. So we like to cover all the realms. We primarily operate our business on flat water or calm water via the local waterways, North Chick, South Chick, the Tennessee River Gorge. We try to utilize the calm areas that have the least amount of motorboat traffic, so that we don't have to deal with that. Although we do educate all of our clients on how to encounter the wake off of motorboats and how to avoid other potential hazards, such as strainers or trees that are down in the water if you're in moving current, and just other things to be aware of when you're on the water. And just self-awareness, being aware of your situation, that goes a long way. And I cannot preach enough about wearing a life jacket or a PFD. If you're within 15 feet of the water, it's a great idea to have one on. That way, even if you can swim really well, there's nothing to say that you may not have to go out and rescue someone else. And generally, when someone is in,
That's a good point. Yeah.
when someone's in dire needs, they'll do whatever they can to get on the surface of the water.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's climb over you, they'll do that. So if you have a PFD on, you have a better likelihood of being able to rescue someone who's having a difficult time on their own.
So PFD, that's a life vest?
Personal flotation
there
device.
There you go. I knew there was a simple breakdown for that. Now, that is an excellent point, because it's not about you. There's people think, well, I'm a good swimmer, but we all know that things happen. You could hit your head, or someone may need you. And so it's safety first, always. I share on here that I'm a hang glider pilot, and that we don't preach that enough. Even those of us who've flown for years, I've had over 100 mountain flights, and we still preach to each other, safety, safety, safety. Because a lot of these types of activities, people perceive them as very dangerous, extreme sports, but relatively they're not. I loved what you said earlier about, how did you say?
Challenge by choice.
I was going to say choose your challenge, but challenge by choice. You can choose your conditions,
absolutely,
so to speak, and where there's different. You just got to know yourself and your limitations with these types of activities.
And that will vary with water level and the conditions from day to day. Just because you were able to run a rapid the last time you were on the river doesn't mean that it hasn't changed, or due to the water level that there's not an increased hazard there that you didn't have to deal with your previous time.
Right. Well, that brings up something, because you're from the area. You've traveled a lot of these same, or navigated a lot of these same waterways many times. And that has to be a huge advantage, because I get that when I lived on the mountain and I flew all the time, I could tell you the conditions, what it was going to do that day, weather-wise, without even checking the weather, because you just learn. And it's the same thing with the waterway. You learn where the hidden stumps are. You learn those types of things. And I love hearing that. That gives me a great sense of security for when I go with you as part of my Chattanooga bucket list. I'm going to really enjoy going on a canoeing adventure and then sharing more about that the next time that we have Sean on. But I love that. I imagine you know the waterways pretty well.
I like to think we know them pretty well, but it's like anything else. There's always a new creek to discover. There's always a new bay to try to locate. So there's no reason to get bored with paddling, whether it be in a whitewater scenario or in a flat water scenario. You can always make a effort to get out and find new locations, and we like to think that you plan an outing, but the adventure takes place on its own. You can't necessarily plan the adventure per se. That's what just naturally takes place.
Now, there's a great article about Sean in the Get Out Chattanooga River Guide magazine. It's by Sonny Montgomery. It's the center. It looks like it's the center of the magazine. Grace of God. It's a wonderful article. I suggest you pick this up. If you're not familiar with this magazine, I picked mine up at Whole Foods. And it's kind of a lot like what this Nooga Radio Outdoors show is doing. It's just going to be a great place to learn and find out about local activities and people to get to connect with, to get introduced to some of these activities. Now, because it does mention, it starts right off the bat about safety, because and I'm sure if from looking at the picture, you were pretty extreme at some point. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I've always liked to get extreme and have a lot of fun with adrenaline. There again, the skateboarding background got me fired up to want to really get those endorphins flowing. And then whenever I got into paddling, it was no different. I paddled every weekend once I started, and once I joined the Tennessee Valley Canoe Club, went through their paddle school. And then after that, every weekend we were on the water year round, and for several years straight before I really got comfortable enough that I would take a couple weeks off here and there. But with that being said, I've just always enjoyed paddling to the highest potential that I had. And sometimes you find out the hard way that you weren't quite ready for that run, but you regroup. Yeah, you just regroup and learn from the experience and go out and educate yourself to be able to overcome whatever happened the previous time and be able to help your friends out in the situation if they ever need it. That's really what it's about for us.
Right. And I love talking to people who, when they get into activities and how they get into something, a lot of times they never saw coming, but they did get out and start spectating, and they're around someone else that did it. And all of a sudden they find themselves doing it, and they find themselves surprising themselves. I miss that. I miss surprising myself that way.
I've really enjoyed it over the last maybe 8 years. The sport has exploded, and I say sport. It's a lifestyle. It's not just a sport. Once you become a boater, everything else pretty much becomes second place, other than your family, I would hope. Outside of that, work is just something you do to get more time to go paddle in more exotic places.
Yes. So. I love it. Well, and I love it because people need to understand. I mean, there is paddle school out there. When you want to connect, that's a lot of the reason I'm having the show, so that you get to know Sean and you get to know his history and how much he's invested in his skills, as a guide, as a safety focused person. And from my experience with hang gliding, I had when my daughter turned 11, she wanted a tandem hang gliding flight, and I had a birthday party for her where she did a tandem flight, and I chose for her tandem pilot. He was a national ranked pilot and who did aerobatics. I chose someone that pushed the limits. I knew he wasn't going to go push the limits with my daughter, but I knew he knew what he was doing. And that just gives me that much more confidence in not only going along with you and then, referring people to go and connect to canoeing through Sean Malone at Scenic City Safari Adventures. And again, folks, this is Nooga Radio Outdoors. You're listening on AM 1240 and 92.7 FM, Nooga Radio. I'm Cindy. I'm your outdoor host, activity, events, and adventure guide for our community. And I need really more great guests on, like Sean here. So I need you to email me at nrocindy@gmail.com. You can email me your suggestions. If it's you personally, if it's something you know about, email me suggestions, and I welcome questions as well. Again, we want to promote and encourage people to attend, to participate, and spectate at your events or your business or your nonprofit organization, whatever it might be. And I just want to remind people, but this show is to give everyone access to the activities, events, and adventures found in the great outdoors. It's whatever your level. We want to help you connect. If you're not doing anything at all, we want to just help you get outside. But if you're just interested in trying new things, it can be very, very intimidating to try something new and to join new groups. And I'll have Sean on again. I want to make sure that people are familiar with Sean. They know him and they're very comfortable giving him a call and setting up their adventure canoeing and kayaking. So, Sean, I want to talk about your service, your business more. But before we do that, can you give me your info? What's your website?
Okay, so as it is, we're still in the process of building our website. So we're on Facebook, or you can reach us at 423-653-4845, and you'll get us that way, and that'll be a direct line to me. We're a mom and pop shop. If I'm not answering, it's my wife, and if the wife doesn't answer, our son's going to take good care of you.
Put that phone number out there again, Sean.
Okay, that's 423-653-4845.
And you can also find Scenic City Safari on Facebook, and that's a great way to get started. Utilizing social media. I've just started a business, Cindy's Choice. I'm a startup, and I have a page up. I'm not ready for a major website yet, and it's really about relationships, and that's what this show is about: is creating connections and relationships to help smaller businesses. That way, it's your best marketing tool. And I want to help businesses like Scenic City Safari. We want to buy local. We want to support our local folks. And what I'm really loving about Sean is I do the Ocoee, and I love it. I've been on a few adventures. I've got a story to share with you. But I love the shuttle aspect of your business. And I posted a picture on Facebook, and he has an awesome safari-looking animal print shuttle that he pulled up here, and Russell, our news manager, said, "I think your guest is here." And I go, "Yeah, I think that's him." So you can't miss him when he's coming. But tell us about your shuttle service.
Okay, so our shuttle service is geared towards people who already have their own equipment or just need to have their person or their boat shuttled back from point A to point B on a multi-day trip, or a one-way down the river type activity. And we also rent it out for shuttle services to follow along behind road cyclists and mountain bike, downhill shuttles, trips around town, just whatever you can imagine. We try to make each one of our events unique, and everything is catered to that potential or that particular client. And so no two events are ever going to be the same with us. And the bus that you were talking about, our little cheetah print mini bus, it's a lot of fun. We've got the disco lights inside and out, and the booming stereo system to play the oldies or the dubstep, depending on whatever you're all into. We've got the music to cover it, to have a really good time, even if it's just on our trip back from a short river run.
Right. Yeah. And this, I love this because a couple of my trips have been where it's a bunch of us going to do an Ocoee trip, and we're all, in different vehicles and coordinating that way. But what's the most fun is when it's a church trip. I love to go with church group because we're all in the van together, and it's the whole day is an adventure instead of just the water adventure. So groups that don't have a van, that don't have their own van, this is a wonderful opportunity, even if it's just a couple of families, to get to travel together and make the whole day an adventure. And of course, I've introduced Sean to Chicken Salad Chick because there's a great catering. You want something kind of healthy and light when you're going to go do an adventurous afternoon like that. So that you can just get real creative with a day trip with Scenic City Safari, Adventure Shuttles, and Outfitters.
And we really like to share our local eateries and establishments with our clients that come in from out of town, because I've been amazed at the range of people and the places that they come from to enjoy our city. Anywhere from New York, Washington State, Boston, Texas, all just to come here and paddle the Tennessee River Gorge, which we all drive by daily and sometimes never even look at.
I know, it reminds me, I lived in Dallas. I went to Irving High School and lived in Dallas for many years. And I did not visit the grassy knoll until I was leaving. I was like, oh no, I need to go. And oh my gosh, it was such a powerful experience. I'm so grateful that I did that. And that's what this show is about, folks. It's the tourists come here and travel all over the country. We were voted #1 in Outside Magazine, not just once. We've been in there twice, which is phenomenal to be #1 in the country, outdoor city, in Outside Magazine. But to be in there twice, that's saying something. So I do want to encourage you to take advantage of this wonderful backyard that we have in Chattanooga, Tennessee. All right, Sean, we understand about the shuttle service. And so what you've got the kayak and you've got canoes.
Okay.
Help me understand the difference there.
Okay, so what we offer with our rental services, we rent sit-on-top kayaks, so we don't have to worry about clients being able to roll a kayak or anything like that to have a good day on the water. We just use the sit-on-top set, and that way, if you have a situation, you fall off of it, well, you climb back on it like a pull float. So it's really low stress for us as a business owner and for the client as well. And then we have a variety of paddle boards, and we have quite the fleet of canoes, anything from vintage to current whitewater boats. So we primarily gear our rentals towards flat water, and then our instruction goes along with that. And then also we do offer whitewater paddling instruction, ACA certified, which is the American Canoe Association. So we really try to educate ourselves every chance we get to stay on top of rescue and safety techniques and practices.
Awesome. I just love this. And I can't wait to try it for myself. And I can't wait to have you back on the show, because boy, will I be able to really share and give my testimony about how much fun it is on a Scenic City Safari adventure with Sean Malone. And what's your wife's name?
My wife's name's Dana Malone.
And she's like part of the whole, does she go
absolutely,
along? And
absolutely.
Is she a canoeer, kayaker, and so forth like that?
She paddles the sup boards quite a bit. She does open canoe, flat water paddling, and instruction and education. So she covers it all.
All right, Sean, give us your phone number one more time.
It's 423-653-4845.
That's awesome. You're listening to Nooga Radio Outdoors, and we'll be back after the break.
The Tennessee Valley's news, talk, and sports leader. Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
Hi, this is Nadia behind the green door. You've had ice cream and you've had shaved ice, but have you had snow cream? It is